Hello everybody out in pandemic land. I hope you're doing well during this time. I wanted to just share a short video with you just talking about decisions, career decisions specifically. You know, I keep something on my shelf in the corner of this office, and it's this. Those of you who were born after 2000 may not know what this is. This is actually a cassette. We used to use these back in the old days to enjoy music and sometimes make mixtapes for our significant others. This tape is a reminder. Why do I keep it? You know, the cassette is dead. The format's dead. I actually recently took the time to transfer all my old cassettes to a digital format because I never want to use a cassette player ever again. Once it dies out, I can't repair it anyway. But this reminds me of a decision that I once made when I was in the 12th grade, and I was probably 3 or 4 months away from graduating. I was so dissatisfied with school. I hated school. And I decided I wasn't going to go anymore. I just had been fed up, and I wasn't going back. I wasn't getting anything out of school. And that's pretty bad for your senior year. And you're so close. I went with my mom on an Amtrak train down to Altamont Springs. It's just outside of Orlando. And there was a school there called Full Sail for the Recording Arts. Now, I loved music, I loved recording, and the only thing I ever wanted to be was a recording engineer and producer of music. I took a full tour of this school, and boy, they laid on the sales presentation really hard, and I fell for it, and I told my mom, this is for me. I'd rather go to this tech school for recording, get out, and it was very expensive, by the way, and become a recording engineer and be a rock producer. This is meant for me, and I don't care about graduating. I will quit. And they had this cassette as one of the things they gave you as part of the tour. I may have even had to buy it, but it was on the desk at the time. And this tape was one of the first digitally transferred in real time recordings. And they were touting digital. Digital was just getting really big back then. So we're talking about 1987, 88. This was made in 1987, so I'm kind of dating myself. Oh, I wanted to go to the school so bad. And I was willing to give up my graduation in order to do it. Well, this didn't really set well with my parents. So after some long talks, they finally convinced me to continue going to school and finishing out graduating. And I was going to go to college to at least a 2-year degree. I did end up graduating, and for a graduation present, my parents bought me a 4-track recorder that I could actually start recording and engineering, producing my own stuff at home. And that started a long hobby of being a recording engineer. And I moved to Nashville in 1997, still following that dream. But I took a turn. Once I started working at a corporation in Nashville, Tennessee, I started meeting all of those people that I thought were so cool in the recording industry, and I found out they were struggling. They really weren't making as much money as I thought they were. Their life really wasn't as glamorous as I thought they were. They had problems that never make it out into the general public that didn't really appeal to me. That lifestyle didn't appeal to me. So I realized that not taking this chance to, avoid my graduation and go to this technical school, it probably could have turned out a lot worse for me in the long run. I also keep this on my shelf because I got this when I was working for that company in Nashville, and you see a little logo on here. See what that is? That's the Mercury Interactive logo. And at this company, I was introduced to Mercury Interactive and a product called LoadRunner. And a person told me, we want you to start using this at our company. We don't understand it. You figure out how to do it. And at first I didn't want to. And I realized we had some consultants working there. And I talked to those consultants, and they actually told me, we don't think you're smart enough to learn how to use LoadRunner. And that was it. I had to learn LoadRunner, and I had to learn to be better than them. Of course, I found out what their hourly rate was that they were charging for the corporation, and that kind of motivated me a lot more to want to pursue this. But taking that advice that I wasn't smart enough to do this, I took that to heart, and just out of spite, I decided I'm going to start using LoadRunner, and I'm going to get into performance, and that's all I'm going to do. That decision actually turned out to be a pretty good decision, because that's why I'm here talking to you today. Most of you know me as a person who is a performance engineer and has used LoadRunner for many, many years. And that was back in 1998 when I started using LoadRunner. And this cup here is not on my shelf, but what I put my cup on every morning also has a Mercury Interactive logo. When I became a certified instructor, you'll see it's all worn around the edges. When I became a Mercury instructor, I went out to California to take the certified instructor class, the first one they ever offered. And I stole this off the desk. So I owe you, Amnon, I owe you one on this. But sometimes the decisions that you think you should take aren't the decisions that you should take. They're not the right decisions for you. And sometimes the most unexpected things turn out to be the right decisions. You just have to know where to pivot to. And for me, although I still love music and I wish that I could have recorded more stuff and been part of that whole Nashville scene, I realized that really wasn't what my calling was. So that's why I decided to change over and do that. So maybe that motivates you. There's something that you're making a decision on right now, and you've made a wrong decision, or you avoided a wrong decision. Now it's time for you to make the right decision. Follow after what you think you can be good at, and if for no other reason, somebody telling me you can't do it, then maybe you should.